Take out your IN, turn to your MTT section, and date this MTT with today's date and title it Quiz 1-1, 1-4 Review. Alright, let's start out. The first thing we have to do is take this fraction and change it to a decimal. We already know half of our answer because we already know that the 6 is going to be inside the decimal. Now we have to remember how to do cowboy on the horse. So the cowboy, which is 2, goes inside and sits down next to 2 praying people. The horse, which is the 5, stays outside of the church. 5 goes into 24 times. I don't need to use any other decimals or zeros because it has no remainder, so 6.4 is my answer. Now I have a repeating decimal that I need to change as a fraction, so I'm going to use my n formula. N is equal to 0.6666 decimal repeating. Repeating. Now I only have one digit that is repeating. So that means I'm going to multiply by 10 in order to get 1 6 in front of the decimal. So now I have 6 and then the rest of the repeating 6s. I want to get rid of the repeating part, so I'm going to subtract 1n because we said up here at the beginning that n was equal to all of the repeating pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract off all of the repeating pieces. So that's going to now give me 6 left on the right side, and 10n minus 1n is going to give me 9n. I asked myself, what math operation is 9n? That's multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? It's division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9, and that gives me n is equal to 6/9. And of course I'm going to have to simplify that down to 2/3. So 2/3 is the same as 0.6 repeating. Now I'm asked to write some products using exponents. So I have 3 5s, so I'm going to do 5 cubed x cubed. I have 2 x's, so I'm going to do x squared y cubed because I have 3 y's. Evaluate means to tell what the value is. So of course this means -2 times -2 times -2. Well, that's the product. So my answer, or the value, is going to be -8. This, of course, means 3/7 times 3/7, which is going to give us 9/49 for the value. Evaluate. So I'm going to use my substitution property first. So this is going to be 3 squared times 4. Now I'm going to do PEMDAS. 3 squared is 9 times 4, and that's going to give me 36. Write each of these using positive exponents. So our first step is to make this a fraction, so we draw it over 1. And then we remember that the negative exponent is crying out, move me, I'm in the wrong location. I'm in the numerator, and I need to be moved to the denominator. When you move it down to the denominator, it becomes positively happy. Remember, you have to put the 1 on the top so you can show that it is in the denominator. We're going to take a look at the next one. We're going to make it into a fraction, and we're also going to write in that invisible 1 exponent. So the 1 is positive, which means the 3 stays on the top. The -4 is crying out, move me, I'm in the wrong location, so he's going to go down to the denominator. Express this in decimal notation, or also known as putting it into standard form. So first of all, I'm going to write my number, and I'm going to look at my exponent. My exponent tells me 2 things. It tells me the direction that I'm moving the decimal and how many places. So because it's negative, that means that I'm going to be moving the decimal to the left, and 3 times because it's a 3. So 1, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do then is plug in the zeros, so my answer is going to be 0.00383. Notice that that is a smaller number than the number that I started with. Now we have two numbers in standard form that we need to write in scientific notation. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write the number and put the decimal in where it belongs. So I already know that part of my answer is 2.07. I have to write the number until I get to where I only have zeros left. Now what I need to do is I need to move the decimal so that this number is the same value as the first number that we started. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be times 10 to the 4th. Now in this one we're going to write the number again, 0.00863, but this time we're going to put the decimal behind the 8 so that the 8 is in front of the decimal. So I already have part of my answer, 8.63, and now I have to make my number match the first one. So it has to look like this first one that we started with. So I'm going to take my decimal and I'm going to move it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I moved it to the left 4, that's going to make it a negative exponent. And that's the quiz review.